The Swarm expedition was my first expedition for No Man's Sky, and I was so excited for it. I had heard about these expeditions and couldn't wait to try one out. But after finishing it, I am a bit disappointed. But before I tell you about my experience, let me know in the comments what you thought about the Swarm and whether it was a good expedition or a bad one, or if it was just somewhere in the middle. Now, I thought that the beginning of the expedition was awesome. Maybe some of it was just excitement to be doing something new, but it really was amazing. It was such a unique experience to be playing next to other real players. Even if I was not playing directly with or against them, it was really cool to see them in game in real time, completing missions along with me. When I spawned in and found my ship amongst a circle of other ships with their pilots running around doing things, I couldn't have been more excited. The setup was simply awesome. And everything leading up to the Prismatic Core missions was really cool, in my opinion. One thing that I thought was a really good idea, and maybe all expeditions do this, was that the expedition started you off on a new playthrough from scratch and turbocharged your progression by providing important resources and technology as you completed each mission. Something about starting from scratch felt really good, but it also felt good not to have to grind for hours to level up and complete the expedition. And even when I first got to the Prismatic Core missions, I thought they were cool and fun. The time gate didn't necessarily bug me, and I figured that it was probably a good idea to prevent small numbers of people from making an outsized impact on the results. I didn't complete a ton of the missions because they became repetitive pretty quickly, but they were enjoyable for a while, and seeing the Prismatic Core become more defined was a lot of fun. I've seen some chatter that completing the missions may not have made a difference in the outcome, and I don't think I know enough to really comment on it, but I understand why people feel that way, especially with the Prismatic Core percentage increasing so quickly in the last few days before reaching 100%. It feels like things were predetermined. But at the end of the day, I stayed excited even through the time-gated Prismatic Core missions because there was mystery about what the end of the expedition would hold and how the Hive of Glass fight would play out. Based on how badass the Hive of Glass looked, I expected the fight to be really difficult. And when we all finally got the chance to finish the expedition, it was a letdown. I know that No Man's Sky isn't a particularly difficult game, but the Hive of Glass could have still been more difficult than it was. I was certainly expecting something much more difficult than what we got. It feels like they made us wait all this time to complete the expedition for nothing. The time gate and forcing us to wait to progress the expedition would have been worthwhile if the end of the expedition were good enough, and I'm not sure that it was. But as I said, this was my first ever No Man's Sky expedition, so I don't know what to expect. So I'll pose the question for you once more. Where did this land on the spectrum for you? Was it as disappointing for you as it was for me, or were my expectations simply set too high? At any rate, I'm happy that I got to play my first expedition, and I am still looking forward to future expeditions. Also, the rewards are fantastic. I actually really love the Dire Wasp set. But more than anything, I have hope that they are planning something big for the upcoming 10th anniversary. Regardless of what they plan for the anniversary, I know that I will be playing. And if you have made it this far, you are amazing. And please leave a like and subscribe. I will certainly have more No Man's Sky content in the future, along with a whole host of other games. So keep an eye out for more.